Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Robyn.
And Sayeed.
Woo woo. And we are joining you from the Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady. And at this point, we're somewhere in the Caribbean, headed to Aruba. Aruba. All right, so it's the beginning of day 2, which is our first sea day, one of 2 sea days. And we just wanted to jump on and give you just a quick overview of our first day on our Virgin Voyages cruise. This was our first time.
We're Virgin Virgins.
We're Virgin Virgins. So just as a caveat, we're not like huge cruisers, but we do enjoy one occasionally. We like how it allows us to see new places. And so when we do go on cruises, we tend to try to go on ones that will give us new experiences. So this is a 7-day Southern Caribbean cruise.
Right. We left Puerto Rico, San Juan, and by the time we get back to Puerto Rico, we will have seen Aruba, Curacao, Martinique, and St. Kitts.
Yes. So yesterday when we got here was our first day, and we did something that we highly do not recommend. Is we flew in on the day of the cruise. It was not ideal. We knew that, but
circumstances dictated that.
Yeah, so we just had to do it for timing purposes. But we tried to do like it the most safe way. Yeah. So like,
for example, so to make sure that we gave ourselves the best chance to get to the boat on time. Now, the quick caveat is the one benefit of Virgin particularly is that they leave generally later in the evening. Most traditional cruises you're probably leaving between 2 and 4 p.m., which means most times they start boarding maybe 10, 11 in the morning. With Virgin, or at least in this case, leaving from San Juan, the boat didn't leave till 8 at night.
Yeah.
So
that was the only reason we even considered it. And you have to be
on. It gave us a wide window.
Yeah, I think even our check-in time officially was 3:45. I think you had to be on 60 minutes before.
At least 60 minutes before.
So as long as we made about 7 p.m.,
then
we were going to be able to get on the boat.
Been okay.
So I think that's the only reason. So we took the first flight out. It was a direct flight. It got us here about 10:30, 10:45.
10:30, 10:45 in the morning. And the airport is about 15 minutes drive.
20 minutes, yeah.
If that. So
thankfully, it was no issues with our flight. We were straight here, got here on time. Our luggage made it. That's the other thing. The direct flight, you hoping your luggage gets on, not getting lost. So luggage made it. It was easy for us to get an Uber. We just had to walk a little ways to the next terminal.
Once we arrived, right.
But you could do an Uber or taxi.
Pricing was roughly about $30, which tends to be the going rate. Now, the one thing to be mindful of if you're flying into San Juan is taxis do have a fixed rate if you're going directly from the airport to the cruise terminal. I want to say it's between $25 and $30. Uber, in this case, we stuck with the Uber because one just gave us a little more flexibility as far as having to wait. They were ready, the person was there within like 5 minutes. But also the catch with Uber though can be that you have surge pricing. So depending on the day you come in, how crowded it is, obviously that price can change. Whereas with the taxi, it is fixed. So,
and I will say, because we had a lot of luggage, I don't subscribe to the minimalist packing, so we had a lot of luggage. So we did an XL, so it was a little more expensive. If you are a person that packs carry-ons or whatever, you can do
the normal
one. I think that was about $18
to $20
pre-tips and all that. So in Puerto Rico only has Uber. So if you're
Lyft.
A Lyft or another ride share, they just do Uber. So the ride to the airport was uneventful, which is you love. Once we got here, we were immediately able to
check our luggage. Yeah.
Yes, that was so helpful. So we didn't have to keep that around. So it was the line was a little lengthy at first, but I kind of think we came at that peak time. But they went very quickly. The attendants were very helpful and hospitable. You just went up. You just have to know your room number. They put a tag on your bag, and then they sent you to the
check-in place. So the way it works with Virgin, well, with San Juan, we believe that they start taking the bags, I think, as early as maybe 9 or 10 a.m. We got there, like I said, right around noon, and what we suspect also was that we probably caught the surge of people who maybe had been staying at San Juan already, and so, most times you're probably checking out at that point. But again, they give you the bag tags. So with Virgin particularly, they do not send you bag tags like traditional cruises, Carnival,
Good point.
Royal Caribbean, Norwegian.
You have to print your own thing. You don't have to print anything, guys.
Right. You just show up.
You just show up. Have your app with your boarding pass.
They'll look at
your room number.
Now make sure you confirm that what they write down on the tag is correct, because they're human. So people, make mistakes. So just double check once they have tagged the bags. I would say just double check one more time that the room number that they wrote on there matches what make sure that it's what it should be. So that you don't wind up, your bag is not somewhere else on the ship, and now you're having to do scavenger hunt to find it.
Yeah, another thing is make sure you have some small bills so that you can tip the porters. That's always helpful, and the American dollars is accepted. So
right, because San Juan
is an American territory if you're coming from the United States.
Yeah.
So once we were able to drop off our bags, then we just kind of stayed around the port. There are a couple of restaurants. There are a couple of restaurants like right across the street. We were starving, so we went to one of those restaurants right across the street. It was good food. It was nothing like amazing. It was good food. But if you walk a little bit further, probably like a 5-minute walk up the hill, you run into Old San Juan. So when you go to Old San Juan, there's restaurants, bars, shops. So at this point, we had about 3 to 4 hours to kill.
Because our particular boarding time was 3:45.
Yeah.
So this point is probably we ate. So about this point, it's probably about 1 o'clock. And so maybe 1:30.
1:30 maybe, yeah.
And so we, like Robyn said, walked up. And one thing we did go to the supermarket first. So another thing, if Virgin does allow for you to buy 2 bottles of wine, bring 2 bottles of wine, regular size, onto the ship.
Yeah, and we didn't want to have to put that in our luggage to fly, and that's weight and all of that. So, because you can't carry that on the airplane. So there is a Walgreens that's right across the street. But I figured that a lot of people would be going to that Walgreens, so we walked up in San Juan. It was a market called Yugo Market. And it's like a supermarket. It's like a little small supermarket. So they had wine. We were able to get some snacks. You can bring prepackaged food, not anything homemade, but we got like little snacks just to have in the room that we can have. And you could also, if you left any toiletries, they have like little travel size toiletries you can get. So that was about less than a 10-minute walk from the port.
Now, mind you, pricing, just real quick, the prices are a little more inflated than what they'll be on the mainland if you're coming from the U.S. Like the bottle of wine you might get at Walmart or something for $10. Here was like 16, so not horrible, but just a little pricier, obviously, because Puerto Rico's an island, so they're important, so inherently. Yeah,
and then also probably too because we were in the touristy
section,
area,
so the price is going to be a little inflated. But again, nothing ridiculous.
So I would say, like, if you are planning to do that, you might want to keep a little tote bag with you so that you can have that and carry it comfortably. Then at this point, after we went to the store, we ate. We still had time to chill. If we didn't leave that morning and we had more energy,
you might want to do a little more.
Yeah, a little more sightseeing. Like if you want to do a half-day excursion, you could do that because, like I said, you have the full day in San Juan until it's time to get on the boat. So we just wanted to sit and relax in the air-conditioned space. So we went to like a little tapas.
Yeah, actually called Tapia. So shout out to them. They're right in the little section there when you first walk up into the old San Juan area.
Yeah. So we had a couple of pina coladas. That's the story is that San Juan is the birthplace of pina coladas. So we had a couple of pina coladas, had a charcuterie board, and we just sat, relaxed, talked, chilled for a couple of probably like an hour or so, hour and a half. And
then so about 3, we decided, well, again, our boarding time was 3:45. And so we decided, well, we'll go ahead and start making our way back to the port because about a 15-minute walk, give or take, depending on how fast.
We were not rushing, so slow, leisurely. If you have purpose to, you probably can get less than 10 minutes. But we were just kind of casually walking because we knew we had time.
So we got to the port probably about a half hour before our listed time.
Yeah.
But like I said at the top, when we got there, it pretty much was empty. So we imagine that probably the rush probably had already occurred. So when we got to the terminal,
It was
they looked at our boarding pass. They saw our time. They said, okay, well, hey, go ahead and go through. So ultimately, I say all that to say is by the time we got there, we were able to actually go get on a little early than what our listed time would have been. And so we get in, we go up to the escalator to the actual terminal where they're checking everybody in.
It was no line.
And there was no line at all.
We went straight to the, they were just very efficient. Like, there were people there, but they had so many people helping to check in. We went straight to the beginning, like the top of the line.
And the lady
pointed us, she was like, go to the next one. And it was
they probably took about 5 minutes. So
I don't even know if it was 5 minutes.
They've asked, really? So they asked our what room we were in, gave them the room number. Then we showed our boarding passes. They do have to scan those, so there's a QR code. What the day, you don't get it to the day of, but the day of the boarding pass generates, and there's a QR code, so they scan that, and then basically they verify the passport with the information that you inputted in your online check-in, which you would have done all of this beforehand.
Yeah, and that, I think that's also, make sure you do all of that so that your process is quick. Like, we did everything we were supposed to before. We had our pictures, we uploaded our documents, we did our health check-in. So if you do all that in the beginning,
then it can be that quick.
It can be simple.
But if you're one of those folks who either just because you didn't want to or forgot or whatever the case may be,
it might take a little longer, but I think they were so efficient. And then we got to choose our wristbands. So the each one has like a little phrase on it. You get to choose it and they enable it. And if you're not familiar, so with Virgin, there are not any, usually you have to have like a lanyard and you have to have a key card. You don't have that. You just have this little wristband. It's very lightweight. And it gets you into your room. Anytime you want to pay for anything
you pay for on the ship, you use that. And it is water resistant, not necessarily waterproof, but like we're here on a Caribbean cruise, so if you get a little sweaty, it's not gonna.
Yeah, I imagine you could wear it in the pool or something. I don't know, but we're not gonna try it out to see. But
also make sure. So we probably between getting to the terminal at 3:15, we probably were on the boat by 3:25.
Yeah. It was quick, short gangway.
And this is going through security. They check you in. They send you to security. Scan your
we
bag.
went to security. I forgot about that. That was so quick.
And they verify this. Do you have anything in there that you shouldn't have? And then
you walk right on.
And their gangway is super short.
Super short.
Like I said, probably within 10. We got there, like I said, maybe 3:15. Probably by 3:25, we were physically on the boat.
So we were on the boat, they were playing music, they were saying hi. It was, pretty festive. It was somewhat festive. During that time, it was a line for the elevators.
So we walked up
the stairs, trying to do that as much as possible on the cruise just to help. We're going to eat, so let's get our activity in. So we walked up the flight. We had to walk up 4 flights.
Right.
4 or 5 flights.
It's rough, but we did it.
We took our time, but we did it. But that was helpful because all the elevators were
busy at that moment.
Full.
Everybody.
And also because we had already checked all our bags. All we had was like a book bag and like a shopping bag. So we didn't have luggage to lug up the steps. And to our surprise, when we got, and that's the thing about the Virgin Voyages with the later embarkation,
your room is ready.
Your room is ready when you get on the boat. That is amazing because other ships, you have to everybody's kind of hanging out in the buffet area or just hanging around waiting. Then they make the announcement, the rooms are ready, and it was like everybody runs and rushes to go. So it was not like, it was so calm.
And that's intentional. They do that intentionally.
Yeah. So as soon as you come on, you can just casually walk to your room.
And even if your bags aren't there, you can at least still get in the room.
But our bags were already here. So it was like our bags were here. We got to, the room was ready. That was a great start, especially because we came in the same day. So at this point, I was tired. It was a wrap for me. We had been up already 12, 13 because we got up at like 3:30 in the morning.
Our flight left about 7 in the morning. So we were at the airport about 5. Which means we were up at about 3:30. So
by this point, I was like, I'm tired. I need to take a shower, take a nap. So we had our stuff here. I was able to go ahead and take a shower, and I actually laid in the bed. I'm a napper, and I took a good nap. Now, unfortunately, because I napped so well,
We missed the sail away party.
We missed the sail away party with the free champagne.
So,
I hate that we did it, but I regret nothing with my nap. I regret nothing. I needed that for the rest of the day. So like we were refreshed for dinner. We had a reservation at Pink Agave, which we did another video of that's a review. So make sure that you go watch the other video. We'll try to link it here below. Of what we thought about Pink Agave. That was one of the restaurants we were the most
excited about. So we said, let's go ahead and just get the best, get that out the way up front, because we didn't necessarily want to wait later potentially, and then the week gets away from you and you look up and you didn't get a chance to get over there. So we said, the restaurants that we wanted to do, we went ahead and got those up front. And again, we'll talk about this in another video about how Virgin does their restaurant dining for the ones that you have to reserve. But it was good food.
So we're not going to get spoiled. No spoilers. Go check out our other video to see if we like Pink Agave. Did it stack up? Did it stack up? Was it worth the hype? Because we watched so many videos before we came, and that was a lot of people's favorite. So see if it was worth the hype. Go watch the video. So after dinner, we were able to.
We came back to the room. And freshened up, and then checked out the Pajama Party for a little bit.
Yes.
Didn't stay all night because, again, like I said, we were up at 3:30 in the morning. So, but we did at least want to peek in on it, and it was a good vibe. People were actually in pajamas for the most part. All kind
of pajamas, like anything you want to wear. We saw from lingerie,
from silly to sexy.
Right, it was the whole range. So whatever you want to do, we had matching PJs that we got, but they were comfy matching PJs. So the DJ was good. Played a variety of music. There was nice weather, so it was a good vibe. We stayed up there for a little while because we didn't hang out all night, but. Overall, I think day one
was good. Day one was good. So we're now on day 2, so we're about to sign off here in a moment so we can get us something to eat and get our day started. Mm-hmm. But again, we will have these as we navigate the journey here this week. So please keep an eye out for the future videos, Pink Agave and others as we move along. And as always, put in the comments if you have been on Virgin before. What do you think? Particularly of your first day, embarkation day.
And do you come in on the day of the cruise or not?
People say don't, and we say don't.
We say don't. I don't recommend. I feel like I would have been better if I was well rested yesterday. I could have enjoyed it better.
And we would have made it party to the sail away party.
Right, but we had to do what we had to do. I'm just glad we made it, but I do not recommend. So let us know in the comments, what's your thoughts? Do you live on the edge? Do you come the day of the cruise, or do you like to come explore? And the other thing is, we're going to explore the city of San Juan when we go back. We're going to stay for 2 extra days, so we still get to explore. So let us know, like, subscribe, let us know in the comments, watch our other videos, check us out. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you.
Yep.
All right.
Peace.